from Sana'a to talk a bit about these supporters that are there on the streets. Yusuf, I mean, when you last joined us yesterday after Sayyid Abdul Malik al-Houth's speech, you explained why Yemenis continue to participate in these weekly marches. But I do have to ask you, how far are the Yemenis willing to go for their solidarity with Palestine?
Well, this is the only group of people in the entirety of the globe who have taken to the streets literally every single Friday for 14 months straight with the same exact message every week after Friday prayers. And that message is solidarity with the people of Palestine. And more recently, that call to solidarity with the Palestinian people has turned into a call for a global jihadi resistance effort in order to liberate the land of Palestine, in order to rid the Middle East from Western hegemonic supervision and domination of Middle Eastern affairs. And they call for military actions, decisive military actions, in order to bring an end to the genocide that has persisted for well over a year in Gaza. And of course, the offensive in Lebanon. We know that Israel has violated ceasefire agreements after ceasefire agreements as they continue to wage an aggression in Lebanon, in the southern parts of Lebanon. And now we see in recent weeks the militant insurgency that's being backed by the U.S. according to these protesters in Syria. And this is, according to the protesters and according to government officials, this is another Israeli Zionist U.S. plot aimed at undermining and undercutting the efforts of the axis of resistance, whether that's in Iran, Yemen, Syria, Iraq, or in Lebanon, and of course in Palestine. And this is this is a red line for the axis of resistance. It's a red line for the Yemeni people. It's a red line for Yemen's armed and naval forces. They will not allow the supply route that sustains the resistance movements in Lebanon and in Palestine to be cut. And they will not allow the Palestinian people to face an Israeli enemy without any arms, without any support from the rest of the Muslim world. So the action, it's a call of action. These protests has evolved into a call of action, a call of resistance, military resistance, not just against the U.S. and not just against the Israeli regime, but even against the Arab and Islamic rulers in the Muslim world who have sat back and remained silent. And some actually have even supported and coordinated attacks with Israel on Yemen. The attack that Israel launched on Yemen a couple of months back was in coordination with some of the Arab states, with some of the Persian Gulf states, such as Saudi Arabia and the UAE. And this is another red line that the Yemeni people will no longer tolerate or accept. The call over here and the calls for the past 6 months have been a call for military jihadi Islamic efforts in order to liberate the Holy Land and in order to kick out all U.S. Western military bases in the region, and a call of unity for the Muslim world to establish military, political, and economic unity in order to alleviate the suffering that's not just plaguing the Palestinian people, but is plaguing the entirety of the Muslim world.
Well, I'd like to thank you very much there. Our correspondent, Yusuf Modi, joining us from Sana'a, straight from the marches in there. Thank you again.